Suklam Bharadaram Vishnum Sasivarnam Chaturpujam Prasanna Dhyaye Sarva Vignopasante Apadapa Mahattaram Dataram Sarvasampatam Lokabhiramam Sriramam Bhuyo Bhuyo Namamiham Artha Namati Hantaram Bhitanam Bidinasanam Dvishatam Kaladandandam Ramachandram Namamyaham Manojamam Marudulyavegam Jitendriyam Buddhimadam Varishtam Vadatpajam Vanarayudamukyam Sriramadootam Sarsa Namami Kujantam Rama Rameti Maturam Maduraksharam Arukya Kavita Shakam Bande Valmiki Kokilam Charitam Raghunathasya Satakodi Pravistaram Ekaikam Aksharam Pumsam Mahapatakanasanam Sri Hari Guru Hari Om Gurubhyo Namaha. So we have seen yesterday the first and second Sarga of Sundarakandam. I think, because one of the things, because always, we would be wondering is why this Kanda is being named as Sundarakandam, because there are various interpretations by the various masters. There are various commentaries, because one of the well-known commentaries and Govinda Rajiyam, commentary is there. He is the one, who has given the exposition of various sargas as well as various shlokas and all. Likewise, a lot of then Tattva Deepika, there is one more thing. A lot of commentaries are there, and they have also expounded, because the Valmiki Ramayana, it's Adi Kavyam. Because to interpret, you have to have the knowledge of so many other scriptures. You will not be able to get only by reading and giving the getting the sort of a simpliciter. It's not a meaning simpliciter. We will have to get into the etymological part of it and try to get the meaning as much as possible. It also requires a lot of experience over the other scriptures, where you would be able to compare, what has been said, how it has been interpreted and all. This is one of the reasons, but one of the point, always everyone try to find why this kandam is named as Sundarakandam. The rest of the kandams are named in line with whatever is happening. Balakandam, we know, because it's infancy, how the Rama was born and how he was growing up, because in the palace. And then, because it's the Ayodhya Kandam, because how he was able to sort of get his, the entire practices, and then, he could be anointed as the, anointed to the chair, and, he could become the king. But of course, because whatever happened, subsequently he had to take the vow, to keep the words of his father, because then he is, because that is very well said by Ramcharitramanas, Prana Jaye par Vachan na jaye. Because once it has been given, because that is the quality of the entire Rama, that has been exemplified, through the Ayodhya Kanda. Then he comes to Aranya Kanda, where he undergoes all the things, where this episode of the Sita is being taken away by Ravana has happened, and then they all, because they are totally, because as a Nara, because though he is an avatar, because he keeps all the ideals of a Nara, because he tries to live within the means of the Nara. That is why, because he was Maryada Purushottama, when we call it, he has been in the boundaries of the human thoughts, human actions, and the human possibilities. He has not gone beyond that, because it's not shown any extraordinary, because like, the Krishna Avatar, he could give all sorts of sort of powers. He could manifest, as and when he wanted, and because that is the thing, at that time in the Dwapara Yuga it was needed. In Treta Yuga, because it is immediately after Satya Yuga, how, a human being could adhere to all the limitations and all the possibilities, still he can continue to be an excellent human being and continue to follow all his dharmas. But all of us having the same problem, we always do the constraint. If I have only this, if I have been brought out only this, if I, because if my parents have provided me this, if my family could, give me all the cooperation, or if the children could be like, so we are trying to put so many ifs and conditions for us to be, because the highly evolved human being. The point in the philosophy, all the philosophy, irrespective of the Western and Eastern philosophy, is how to be, have all the human qualities endowed in us, imbibed in us. It is innate in us, how to bring it out, how to be a very good human being. That is what this Ramayana exemplifies. This shows, within the limitation, how is it possible, and how he has undergone all the ordeal without having, because he was always in cheerful mood. He has never craved, why this hasn't happened. I don't find, any sort of a slokas or any sort of verses in any of the Ramayana always wallowing in the sorrow and all. It's always, whatever is being there, it's faced, and that's why, and faced squarely. And then, he goes with the confidence and the sort of, he gathers confidence, he finds the strategy, he does it everything and all. Finally, when nothing, because they couldn't do as within the human possibilities, we'll have to see. Then only the Hanuman was assigned this job, because Sugriva thinks, because the Sugriva knows, it's the only Hanuman who can get it done. Because he is the most focused person, he's once he has taken it, he is a very good diplomat. He knows what way, he will be able to assess everything, and he will be able to utter the right words. Nothing will be missed. And Hanuman was in the infancy, because his mother Anjana used to call him as Sundara, it seems. That is why, because the entire quantum, because since it deals with the Hanuman and his exploits, in the process of finding the Sita. So it is being, this Kanda has been named as Sundarakandam. That is one of the interpretations. But actually there is one sloka is there, and which says, because why the Sundarakandam is so Sundaram. It just briefly will say, Sundare Sundaro Ramaha. Sundare Sundaro Rama, because Rama in the word, because it is a etymological, not the person or anything like that. Rama in the Ramayanti it Rama. Because when you say Rama, it is the highest bliss, highest sort of ecstasy, highest sort of a possible, the happiness one could get, that is Rama. Sundare Sundari Katha. Katha in the sense, entire episode, whatever has been narrated, or because when we see Katha, it is not only the story as it is. Katha is into our lifeline, because our Katha, because we are not writing our biographies, but we have got our own Katha, because we every day, because we have got so many 365 days, because if you are going to see 80 years, we say you have seen 1,000 moons and all, because it is, what is that 1,000 moons? It is the 1,000 days and 1,000 nights. That is 1,000 waking stages and 1,000 dream stages and 1,000 deep sleep stages. We have undergone all these things, and we are all conditioned and controlled by whatever is happening all through these stages. So that is why it is not only that, it's every man's only in that, how you can get into it all. That's why in the first chapter, because we Samkshepa Ramayanam, when we were discussing, Valmiki, I am going to write a great epic. The first chapter is a sort of an executive summary of Ramayana, because when Narada visits the Valmiki ashram, he was so enamored, he was so excited, because the Brahma Rishi has come to his ashram. He does, because all the homilies and gives him all the offerings, and finally he asks him, is there any human being, who has been endowed with all the best qualities, which is just not possible, because they know, because in those days also the possibility, because you had the constraints, you had so many sort of, because your own thoughts are there, attitudes are there. Everyone will not be able to cultivate the right attitude and right thought. That is why, because the second mantra of the first mantra is Tapasva Dhyaya Niratam Tapasvi Vakvitamaram Naradam Paribaprecha Valmikir Munipungavam. Because when he comes first, he says, he asks Narada, there is a discussion, Samvada. He requests Narada to tell you that there is any person who is having all the qualities endowed into an ideal human being, Maryada Purushottam. Konasmin Sampradam Loke Kimvape Konasmin Sampradam Loke Gunavan Kascha Viryavan Dharmagyascha Kritagyascha Satyavakyo Dridhavrata. It's not possible to have all these qualities. I can't be, the good, I can't be a courageous man, and I can't be the one who always stand by my word. I can't be the one, because I can always, even, if the vicissitudes comes, because I don't, if I have given a word, I stand by that word, because I accept whatever comes to me. If someone has imposed a condition on me, if it is my own kith and kin, I do. And even if a person has done 99 wrongs on you, 99 times, he has tried to pull your leg down. And even if there is one occasion in which, he had a good thought about you, you just you think, you will have to express your gratitude and do something to him. These are all the qualities, like, because like, the Bible says, when someone hits you on the one one face on the one side of the face and you show it the other, because these are all have come from these qualities, whatever has been described and enunciated in our great epics only. These are all the things that has been taken to that level. Sundare Sundari Katha. That is why, because in Ramcharitra Manas, when it is in Hari Ananta Hari Katha Ananta, is it? Hari Ananta Hari Katha Ananta. Ramayana is such a great Katha. It is a Katha of everyone. And not only that, it says Nana Banti Ramavatara Ramayan Satakoti Apara. Because even if you try to have the entire verses recited, imbibe all those qualities, trying to find what are all those qualities, understand that one, even Satakoti, because even 100 crore verse, you will not be able to cover and understand such a great, the qualities, how a human being can have it everything together. This is what the Ramcharitra Manas has also said. So Sundari Katha, Sundaro, Sundari Sita. Sita is just, because the entire, there is a chapter on Sita, because when she was being given in marriage to Rama, that is, because in the Ayodhya Kandam itself, it comes as that one. There one word, because Janaka says, to Rama, because at the time of marriage, when he gives the Panigrahanam, Iyam Sita Mama. That is the only small word. So this Sita is mine. Who is this? Tava Dharma Charini. She is going to be with you in all our endeavors. Whatever you want to do, she is going to be with you always. And then, when he says, for that, there is an explanation which goes, I think, it will not take, even a single session to cover that, because it's a great qualities of Sita. In fact, there is a sort of explanation. The entire Ramayana is trying to bring out the greatest qualities of Sita through all other characters, because that is what also, that's also the interpretation of some commentators. That is why Sita is the Jagat Janani, because Mula Prakriti, and because it is, that we will be seeing in this Sundarakandam so much. We will be seeing stellar qualities, brought out by Hanuman in his own words, that we will be seeing it. Sundare Sundaram Vanam. Vanam in the sense, because Sri Lanka is such a beautiful place. Even if you go today, after the Southeast Asia, the naturally endowed rainforest is there only in Sri Lanka. If you happen to be, because some of you might have gone, and I also had occasion to go about 15 years before. If you go there, you will find that such a tall trees and such a forest, which you are seeing, it is nothing but a wonderful rainforest, which we do not have in India at the moment. We might have heard in upper Himalayas and somewhere, else down south and all, but we don't have it. They have got such a huge endowed with natural beauties, and entire natural beauty is being brought about, because in the Sarga, which we have recited yesterday partly, because we'll be seeing more. Sundare Sundaram Kavyam. It is because it is a literary masterpiece. The 24,000 slokas, which has been written, because it is this chandas and the meter, in which it has been written, the words that has been used, the entire letters that has been brought about appropriately at the right places. Perhaps no power on the earth can replace even a single sentence or a single word. That's why Charitam Raghunathasya Satakoti Pravistaram Ekaikam Aksharam Pumsam Mahapataka Nasam. Even if you are able to recite one sentence or one word of, or one letter of Ramayana, I think that takes away all your sort of unwanted thoughts. Satakoti, all the Papa Vinasanam, in the sense, all your unwanted thoughts go off. You become so purified intention and purpose. And Sundare Sundari Kapi. So Kapi is that, because Kapi is always, they call Vanara. Vanaras are being Kapi. Because if you might be seeing, because as we go about, you can consciously note there is one word which will be coming repeatedly in the Sundarakandam, Kapi Kunjaraha. Kapi Kunjaraha is the sense, he is the one of the stellar, because Kapi. Kapi is also, in some words, they are also using the word Hari. Because Hari, because we know as Vishnu, but Hari is also used to represent Vanara. So Harishardula, because he is sort of like lion among all the Vanaras and all, because that's also being coming about. So this is bringing about not only Hanuman, and it's also bringing about his qualities, how he is the stellar among all those things. Why he has become stellar, that reason is also being explained in Sundarakandam. And Sundare Sundaram Mantram. Mantram is Maranat Rayate iti mantra. when you are doing, because Shravana, Manana, and Nitidhyasana, what we talk about, because when you are able to reflect and sort of regurgitate and, because you are able to think, because meaningfully into when you are able to get into yourself and find out, because what is the purpose and what is the great cause we have, what is the great goal for this body being here as a human being, what is that, that finally you will be able to get. That is the mantram will have to take. Mantram will have to be first you hear and learn from a guru, Shravana, and then Manana is you go on repeating it and reflect it. Nitidhyasana is finally taking it to the ultimate. So this is what and Sundari Kimna Sundaram, which is not which cannot be beautiful in this entire kanda, because in the Rama comes only in 67 and 68 chapter. There are 68 chapters and 68 sargas in Sundarakanda. His presence is being, because you will be able to notice only 67th and 68 chapters. Rest of it are all the third person, like Hanuman tells about how Rama is, and Sita, because telling, because how what he has told, what are all the, her experience, and Hanuman tries to give, because how he is, because missing her, and why how he is taking every effort to finally to rescue her, though it is metaphorical because she can rescue herself. So this is what the entire purpose of this Sundarakandam. That's why it is named as Sundarakandam, because it in the first chapter and second chapter, what we have seen yesterday. Briefly, I will tell about it. Because it's that there is a lot of similes, metaphors that has come about, because he didn't know his own strength. Because finally Jambavan tells him, because you've got such great power, you've got Ashta Siddhis. So when he is able to expand himself, Sata Yojana, 1 Yojana is equal to 12 kilometers. Sata Yojana, you just 1200 kilometers, you can expand, when it's required. And sometimes he comes like a atom, like a rat and cat, he transforms himself. So there are instances it is coming. So finally, when he takes such a big, because of his Ashtasiddhi, once he comes to know he has got the power, when he has to cross the sea, he takes such a huge sort of a manifestation. The mountain on which he is standing is called Mahendra Hills. Mahindra Hills, the Mahindra Parvatam. It is not able to bear his this entire the weight, and when he tries to press it and tries to go flying into the air, because it just breaks into all the stones, breaks into sort of pieces, crags, barren crags, it all praises, and all the trees, fall, and the animals run skelter-helter. And, all those celestial beings who are all sort of, those days, celestial beings are, now they say it is still there, but it's not visible to human eyes, because we have lost the ability, even our Agya Chakra, we are not able to understand another human being and able to see another human being, or understand another human being's words and thoughts. How about, because then we can't know that. But the people who still, if you go to the villages, because certain mountain ranges, people have got such a mystical experiences of having encountered. Because Yeti, they say it is still in Nepal. Because one Nepalese gentleman, I think he gives proof he has seen Yeti. Because I know him. But we couldn't, after all, we don't know, having got the scientific sort of a point of mind for everything, you will have to have evidence. That is how we are conditioned. But after if you go by our scriptures, evidence is only limitation, because evidence has got only certain limits. It's a logical limit. Till such time you know something and understand something. But in our, because scriptures, we go by three of the sort of concepts, in understanding the pratyaksha, the personal experience. What we have experienced, because I don't think no one can, because some of your experience, if you are able to explain, I may not be able to understand because I might not have experienced. But some of my experience, I myself have not been able to understand, because it appears to be some mistake, in my younger days, certain experience what I had. So therefore, because pratyaksha is more valid, in our scriptures, then Anumana is trying to find the inference, because when there is a smoke, there should be a fire. That is a normal Anumana. Parvato Vandiman Dhumaha. That is what, in our scriptures, if you see, if you're trying to understand the Brahma Sutram or Nyaya Sutta, or, one of the things they will repeatedly say in this particular Anumana. and everything, including, because in the Shankara Brahma Sutra Bhashyam, or, the Ramanuja Bhashyam, Sri Bhashyam, or, the Madhvacharya's Anubhashyam, or whatever it is, that these are all the examples are given to understand the final meaning of that sutram, and, because Veda, and also because that is what, we have to know that, because of that only, because all the celestial beings, which we may not be able to understand and believe, but they were all there. Charanas are there, Vidyadharas were there, and they say they are still there and all. And of course, because they were the one, who are only, because what happens is when there is a harmony all around the world, you find all the natural powers, because which endows all that flora, fauna, animals, and everything, their natural powers, and everything lives in a harmony. Of course, within their conditionalities. Amongst the animals, there will be a prey, and there will be a sort of a predator, both will be there, and so is the plants, and they will all grow sometime extinct, and afterwards, because they will all vanish, because as people say, in the forest there is a rule: the trees, they will have to fall after some point of time, so the new trees can come with more energy. That's what they say. That is inbuilt, and they understand, and the tree also understand when it is going to follow, and it is fellow trees, through the root they come to know, because these are all the stories. If you go even into USA, because in California, further, there's natural parks, wherever they are having, and they all tell the same story. I think it is the human experience is everywhere same. Those things are being described here, and all those things, when they are describing, how he could get through all the obstacles. And when he is going through, because there is one great hill was there, Mainaka. You might have heard the word here, and even other exposition also they will saying it is Mainaka is the one hill which has got submerged into the water. It got into the water. So in those days, there is a story, all the hills had wings and they were flying here and there and all. And they were flying faster than even the birds and bees. So then everyone got worried, even people who are doing, the meditation and the ascets and sages, they were all wondering if one of them, because like us, because if it hits and all, their entire tapas will be spoiled and all. Finally, Indra seemed to have clipped the wings of all the hills, but only one hill, because which whose wing was about to be clipped. Vayu, who is the father of, who is Pavanaputra Hanuman, Vayu saved him by pushing Mainaka into the sea. So he is the one only who can come out of the sea. So nowadays we also find geologically some hills come out of the sea and all. It is a geological process. In those days, perhaps, it is being termed as the wing symbol. The Mainaka comes, because it has been asked to say, because his father Vayu, because since he has helped Mainaka, he says, because my son is taking a very great, because effort, to go to the Lanka and find the Rama's beloved wife of Sita. So you should take some rest. Why don't you, give him, provide a resting place? So she comes out of the Mainaka comes out of the sea and gives a resting place, but because Hanuman sees it as obstruction. It has come in the first Sarga. But then, because finally when he's trying to push it with his chest, and she takes the natural form and says, look, I have been asked to give some resting place for you, to give you all the comfort so that you can continue the journey. So of course, he doesn't take rest. He says, once I have come for a job, I will have to finish it. It will be start to finish, and I will not be able to take anything and all. So he doesn't accept that, but he goes. And then finally, one another serpent god, because he's being made Surasa, and she is Daksha's daughter, because she has been asked by some Gandharvas to take a sort of ugly face, to take an ugly monster and try to prevent, test the Hanuman, whether he can really do, because Hanuman only chants Rama's name. Whether he can do, because in those days, these Gandharvas and all, they were also sort of a doubting Thomases, because they are skeptics. They are also trying to find. But when she opens her mouth, so big and all, Hanuman also expands to that level. She goes on expanding, and so is Hanuman. Finally, what he finds, he takes himself into the smallest of creature which she is not able to see. He goes 1,000 times into her mouth and comes back. Finally, he just she knows, because what he is capable of, surrenders, and then because he just forgives her and goes further. So then one Simi, because one Rakshasa is there and he encounters and he throws her out also. Then he tries to go and with all the orders. When he goes, because he's like, his entire shadow is fallen on the entire sea. That's what the Ramayana says, the simile and metaphors, because it's a literary metaphor as well as it has got, the metaphors have got a meaning in scripturally and that's there. And finally he reaches Lanka. When he is able to see a panoramic view of the Lanka from the bird's eye view from the sky, and because as he's trying to land in the sky, it appears as if he is going to drink the entire sea, because he has taken a huge form, and as if he will be drinking the entire sea out. And when his head is high, because maybe he will take the entire fire moment space out of tongue, because he will be able to take it out also, goggle up. That's what gorge up the entire space. It looks like that, but these are all the similes given there and all. Finally, when he knows, then he makes an assessment. That is where we come to the second sarga. He wants to make an assessment as to what are all the strengths and weaknesses, because whether we will be able to do it. Because with so much obstruction, you will have to bring the entire army. Though he knows Rama and Lakshmana, they are all capable, but they are because they are in the form of human form, because they will be able to achieve all these things, all these odds will they be able to face. If I have to find a strategy, what is that I will have to look for? What are all the things I should gather so that finally you can come fully prepared and do that. Finally, you should be fully prepared with all your strategies, knowing the strengths and weaknesses of your enemy as well as strengths and weaknesses of yourself. How to do that? From that point of view, he just comes and lands, because when he was not being allowed in the twilight, he takes a very small form and sneaks into Lanka. But before that, when he sees from the sky, the panoramic view is described, it is like a floating sort of a stellar space, in the earth, because it is just full of ornaments, full of big trees and golden houses and thoroughways and emerald-like lawns, meadows. It is something like a wonderful, even Amaravati, which is supposed to be the capital of Indra, will not be so beautiful. That's what, because it was designed by Vishwakarma. It was all furnished by Kubera, but finally Kubera being a stepbrother, because he's been sort of, he goes out, because Ravana takes it out from him and he goes to Alkapuri. Alkapuri is in Himalayas near Kailash. So that is where, because Kalidasa takes over and writes his wonderful, Meghadutam when he writes, it is from what is happening in Alkapuri with one of the yakshas. That is how, because the literary beauty comes from there. So once this has happened, once he sees so beautifully, he gets enamored, because not only that, is Trikuta mountain, because the entire capital is on the Trikuta mountain, Sri Lanka. And it is naturally endowed with all the forts. It has got the forts, which is made of sort of earthly forts are there, and it is got surrounded by forest, and it has got different names, because they have given, in the, just for you can hear that, because you will be seeing, in the course of entire, the recitation. There are 7 type of forts are there. All the forts, because one is forest, one is the one earthen fort, another one is aquatic forts. And it all got a Sanskrit name. In the aquatic forts is like crocodiles and other things will be there. Then followed by the soldiers, then followed by the mountains with the cliffs. The mountains with the cliffs, they are considered to be most strategic, because even a proficient archer with 100 soldiers, that is comes in this Sarga, first we recited, he can manage more than 10,000 soldiers or thousands of soldiers by sitting there, and because strategic point, like we have heard it in Siachen, what has happened and all. Those things have been reflected, and there the strategy is he's trying to work out how best it could be. So after doing that, because when he gets into the Lanka, but then his immediate thing is with all these things around, and it is being guarded by all these this Rakshasas, and because they are all capable of transforming themselves, they are all capable of having all the mystical powers, magical powers, and they can also keep, even the wind can't enter the Lanka. They have got the security of threefold security, is such a high security, you will not be able to get into that. So he tries to find how to penetrate and get into that. That's what he says. He tries to think over, and because he's trying to find, because what are all the ways out, and he also knows he doesn't want to have a whiff of his presence to anyone, because with such as a high security, my presence should not be known to anyone. So finally, when he enters as small as a cat and sneaks into Lanka and tries to find, and in that process, he explains the entire beauty of Lanka. It is something to be seen, to be believed, and it has got emerald-like lawns, meadows, wonderful houses with the golden arches, festoons, and made of gems, and here and there. And Ravana's palace itself, because he gives an opulence, that cannot be compared. In fact, in the next two sargas, we will be seeing, when he encounters Pushpaka Viman, how beautiful it is. He explains everything and all. He gives all the beauty of it. Finally, he says all these things, because when they are trying to do everything, because their intention and purpose is not for the noble purpose. So they will not be able to sustain, because that is a human learning. You may have everything, all the thing, in the world, but finally your intention and purpose is not noble. You will not be able to sustain that. This he knows that, but in spite of it, as a Duta, he wants to work out and what is the best strategy they should do, and what are all the ways we can get into. His purpose is first to identify and see Sita, whom he has not seen. It is that stage, because now he is trying to sort of explore every area he encounters in Lanka. That is going to come from chapter Sarga 3 onwards. We will be seeing this. This is a sort of a small sum and substance, in essence, gist of it. There are a lot of beautiful descriptions which I have not taken into, because it is all something to do with the literary masterpiece, the similes, and I have mentioned few of them, the metaphors and all. They are all the major metaphors and similes, and there they have also given, because some of the quotes from other Puranas, other scriptures are also being enshrined into these words. And this will be more coming into, because this will be coming into beautiful, because if you see next 2-3 chapters, you will find, with all the things in the world, why, because people should be, they don't have to worry about anything. They have got all the wealth in the world, and they have got all the entertainment in the world, and they have got all these sort of natural resources available in this world. In spite of it, why Ravana, or because his people, why they behave like this, because that's not true. Okay, it is not. Nowadays we say it's a very developed country. If you find a developed country, the problems, will be of a different kind. It will be a psychosomatic. It will be a sort of thought, attitude, and other things. Because if it is such a developed country which is endowed with everything and all, why not people are happy? Because they are the only find the psychiatrists and psychoanalysis and all sort of things comes up. But whereas a poor, we may be considered to be not so developed. But here people are able to have, so they find their, that of a end of it, and they are able to discover themselves and live happily. This is what, because he is trying to bring out in the first two chapters. In that process, he is literally sort of describing the beauty of Lanka, the natural beauty, the bounties, and as well as, how people could live happily there, and all those things are being described. This is just the essence of it, and we will be seeing in the more beautiful explanations, in coming through. At that point of time, we will pick up the right thing. And here also, there are a couple of slokas. I will pick it up and point out. They are all giving to the turning point, as well as it is some sort of a lesson for every human being. Those verses will also, we will bring it out and discuss that. With this, I will conclude today's session. This is just to give a brief idea about as to what we have recited. This will be the line in which, we will also be having the exposition every second day. It will be a brief, but to the extent to know that what we have recited, so what we are going to see. Thank you. Thank you very much. With this, I will try to conclude today's session. There is nothing much to say about. If you have any suggestion, or if you want to tell me anything like that, I will request you to. And if you want something more also, I will try to know. I will try to cover that area also. Yes, Prabhuda.
All well. And
Yeah.
Best wishes for the beginning of the new year with the journey through the
Absolutely, that is what, because let the new
classes.
year be wonderful, and not only that, because the 2024 should be a stepping stone for us to see the new era in the 2025. I think we have become something of what, and we will be evolving further into that. And as things say, because let us hope, all the conflicts come down. Sarve Jana Sukhino Bhavantu. Let us hope for that. That the whole world live in harmony. That's what. Not only we are, because the Ramayana only looks for that. Because that is the entire. You will see. Because the we will be reciting in the finally. This Palastuti. It says that only, and that we will all look into. And we will continue the next Saturday, and followed by Sunday exposition. With this, I will conclude. मंत्रहीनं विद्याहीनं भक्तिहीनं रमापते यत्कृतं तु मया देवी परिपूर्ण ततस्तु मे स्वस्ति प्रजाः परिपालयन्तां न्यायेन मार्गेण महीमहीं सा गोब्राह्मणेभ्यो शुभमस्तु नित्यं लोकाः समस्ताः सुखिनो भवन्तु काले वर्षतु पर्यन्ति पृथिवी सत्यशालिनी तेषोऽयं शोकरहितो ब्राह्मणाः सन्तु निर्भयाः लाभस्तेषां जयस्तेषां कुतस्तेषां पराजयः येषाम् इन्दीवरश्यामो देवयस्तु जनार्दनः रामाय नमः भद्राय रामचंद्राय वेदसे रघुनाथाय नाथाय सीताय पते नमः मंगलम कौसलेन्द्राय महनीय गुणाब्दे चक्रवर्ती तनुजाय सर्वभौमाय मंगलम काये वाचा मनसेन्द्रियैर्वा बुद्ध्यात्मना अनुष्कृत स्वभावात् करोमि यत् सकलं परस्मै नारायणायेति समर्पयामि हरि ओम थैंक यू see next Saturday and Sunday. Thank you. Wish you all a very
wishes to
happy and
everybody
wonderful
for the
New
new
Year.
year.
And next
Best
we'll
wishes
see
for New
New
Year.
Year on Saturday. Thank you.
Best wishes
Thank
and
you,
regards
Ram.
for
Thank you.
Happy New
Thank
Year.
you.
25.
Thank you,
Happy
Narayanan
New Year,
sir.
man.
Wish you very, very happy New Year. I think hope you are able to celebrate Bangalore.
The Sandhya madam is not introduced to me. I am
Sandhya
Narayan,
Happy New Year.
NSR.
Oh, how are you, madam?
I'm fine. So you don't have to every time ask me. I'm fine. Otherwise,
No, I'm asking Madam Narayanan. She's there.
Madam Narayanan is okay. She is listening Bhagavad Gita because today
Oh,
is
acha, acha, okay.
Very good, very nice.
So I just wanted to join you, not to discontinue on the second day.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
All the best.
Namaskar.
Happy New Year to all.
Namaskar. Namaskar. Bye-bye.